Okay guys, today I'm going to show you how to hang a heavy wall planter of some sort without drilling into the wall, and it also makes somewhat smaller holes that you could probably paint over or just like a teensy dab of putty. So if you're renting, or if you're like me where you just actually don't like holes in your walls because I like to move things around, then this is a really easy way to do that. So for example, I really like this wall planter. It's really cute, ceramic wall planter, hangs against the wall, but this planter alone weighs 3 pounds. Then once you add the plant, and then on watering day the plant's really heavy, and then hopefully this plant is going to grow down the wall and cascade and just add more and more weight as time goes on. And so typically you probably drill into the wall, but again, I don't like to do that, and I've discovered a couple ways that you can get around that, so I'm going to show you how. Okay, so let's say I wanted to hang that heavy planter here next to like this collage of photos at the end, and it had it coming down, gets nice window light and everything like that. Here's the hooks that I would use. So we have these are, I think, also called monkey hooks, and I think they originated for people who had drywall, and you can't really hang anything on drywall. Or I mean plaster, sorry. So this just goes, I'll show you how to do it, but it goes into the wall behind it and then springs up backwards, and so it spreads out that surface area for the pressure. And then they also make these, so it just has a hook on the end. And then they also make these, so that's how it goes behind the wall and it spreads the tension. And then these have like the small little face on it, so that if you're hanging one of those planters that has like the circle and then like a smaller circle, and you put it on and slide it down, or say you're doing even like maybe it had two, those are helpful. And then this is something that 3M makes, and it's their claw. So they make also like picture hanger versions of this, and this can support up to 25 pounds, and then the monkey hook can do 50 pounds. So you should be pretty set. So this is how, I'll show you how to just stick it in your wall really easy. Okay, so it looks like this, and then this part is just going to go behind the wall, so like my hand is the wall, and then it puts that tension up there, so it spreads out the tension. So you just stick it in the wall, straight in, and then you feed it through, and then it has that little hook that's out there. And then you just take your planter, whatever you're going to hang, and stick it through. So that's number one. And you can see, so as you can see, it doesn't leave that big of a hole. I mean, it's bigger than like a little nail or something like that, but it's not going to leave a huge hole, and you don't have to get out a drill and a molly and do all these things, and that's just too much. You know what I mean? Especially if like you're moving plants around a lot, then I feel like this is a better option. All right, now let me show you the claw. All right, so I've put the first hooks in. Now I'm going to flip up this top part. All right, so I've got that top part now flipped up and anchored into the wall, and then I just have this cover plate. So you just put the cover plate on, and it hides everything, and then you can hang your plant. Okay, so that is what I use to hang really heavy plants on the wall if I need to. Although I try to get away with that by just using shelves or plant stands or things like that. But when I have to put a hole in a wall for a heavy plant or even heavy picture, that is what I use. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.